Hey guys, how's it going today? So, welcome back to the kitchen. Today is a little bit of a different day. I am working with a brand new camera that Santa was kind enough to bring me early, I might add. And, well, I don't even know if this video is going to end up making it into a video that you guys are gonna see. So if you do end up seeing this, because I magically somehow figured out how to work my camera, yay! But today we're doing something that is way different than any of the previous video content that I have done here, and that is going to be making the soap that I stock over on my website in the market. If you're looking for a way to support our channel, this is a great way to do it. Please go on ahead and do that, because everything that I make is locally sourced here in America and as organic as I can find it. And if I can't grow it, I try to source it organically. Although pretty much everything in the shop right now is grown off of the Homestead here. So, bonus. So go on ahead and check out my website. I'll make sure that there's a link below in the description for you to go on ahead and click if you actually end up seeing the video, because yeah, it's questionable. All right, so without any further ado, let's go on ahead and start making some Homestead soap, guys. Okay, so we're in the process here of rendering it down. You will see if or when you do this yourself that what separates out is going to be the tallow that you're going to use. There's going to be clumps of things in there that you're not going to use. That's just how it works. Hate to say it, but that's how it works. All right, now that we've gotten that taken care of and we are down to a liquid state, there's still a few clumps in there, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain it. This is going to help keep out any of the larger chunks, which are going to be very easy to pick out, very, very obvious to pick out, so I don't even worry about the larger pieces. But you are going to have some smaller impurities, I guess you could call them, things that you don't necessarily want in your soap. I put it in a crock pot and I do it low and slow. You can do this on the stove top, but I still recommend doing it in a very low and slow manner. It takes at least 2 hours. Yeah, we're closing in on the 2-hour mark for me to get just under, this is about, what was it, 3.7 something pounds of beef fat. It takes about 2 hours to get that quantity down to this liquid state. Now, if by chance you're not making soap today, which is totally fine, go on ahead and store in a airtight container of some sort. Let it sit, okay, let it completely cool. Then what you can do is you can put it back on the stove top and reheat whatever ounce you need for your soap making the next day. Now, the other thing is, it should be a creamy white butter, light butter white color. If it is a darker yellow, probably rendered it down too quickly. Out of my kitchen, you know the rules. Go on. She can smell the beef. She thinks it's her dinner. Okay, anyway, so if it is in the more yellow, not the off-white yellow category, but yellow category, probably rendered it down too quickly. So that is why I like to put it in a crock pot. Bleh. It's been a long day already, as you can tell. So Low and slow is always better because you're going to get a nice white, creamy tallow. Yes, it's a beautiful thing to work with. If you've never made a tallow soap, you should make tallow soap. It's amazing. I have nothing but good things to say about it. So now that we've gotten to this point, I'm going to go on ahead and hyperlapse the next portions for you guys. So here we go, guys. Ooh, that's a bright flash, especially with the reflection going on there. All right, so I am geared up, and I'm going to head out into the lovely garage because it is too cold and too windy outside for me to be doing live water out there. Also, I will not be taking you along for this section of the segment. Call me paranoid, but it's a brand spanking new camera, and the last thing I want to happen is something weird, because if I'm there, something weird is going to happen. It's usually a guarantee. So I'm going to leave you in here. I'm going to get the live water mixed, and I will be meeting you back here with the beef tallow. Okay, right now, see if I can't get you zoomed in here. I'm checking the temperature on our oil base. So this is the oil. Over here, that's our lye water. So with this, we want to be 100 Fahrenheit to 115 Fahrenheit, which is around 40 Celsius or so, 40, maybe 43 Celsius. You don't want this to be over 115 degrees Fahrenheit, because otherwise you're not going to reach trace on your soap, or at least not correctly. And I'm doing my best to not touch the bottom here and leave my gauge, which is that metal doohickey, on the glass, because I do not want it to affect the actual temperature of the fat that is in here. And it looks as if we are at the right point. Now, I, of course, pulled this out, strained it really, really well, and then strained it again while this was sitting for 10 minutes. Because after you mix it up and it doesn't have any, see how that's not cloudy? Well, I mean, the glass is cloudy, but the water should look clear. If the water looks white and cloudy, it is not incorporated correctly, and you don't want to use that lye water. So at this point, we're going to go on ahead and we are going to put the lye water, because it's been 10 minutes, and this has been triple strained in that time, and we're going to put it in here. We're going to use this bad boy to mix it up and get it to trace. Once we get this started in and mixed in, I'm going to add our mineral colorant and our essential oil into the soap. And it goes without saying, use gloves, people, because you are really going to regret it if you get lye on your fingers. It is quite unpleasant. Okay. Oh wow, that sage is amazing. I have a little spatula just for this purpose. I want to get as much of this in as I can. This is going to come out when you select your colors. If you do any coloring, please know it's not going to look exactly like the color that you picked. Okay, you have to factor that in. I did a quick check on the tallow, and the tallow came out a creamy off-white, but there's still enough of the off-white that it's not going to end up looking like the true purple that you saw me mixing in. It's going to have sort of this natural wine kind of a color, which I actually like this a lot. I'm very, very happy with this. Okay. All right, we're gonna pour it in the molds now. All right, this is the stage that I need to start moving a little bit faster. So these are just prepared molds. And I'm just going to take my little spatula again. These are all handmade, guys, so when you do handmade, you have to embrace the handmade aspect of things and know that you may have variations in products. The way that they look from batch to batch can be very different depending, because obviously, as you can see, I like to add herb stuff to my products. It gives it that home feel that I really, really enjoy myself. We're just going to start spreading this. And you will notice that we are kind of on top of a cutting board on a level surface. And that is because I'm going to whack this, and it's going to be very noisy. I'm going to just warn you in advance. It's going to be very noisy, but you want to get the air bubbles out, because otherwise when you go to pull your soaps out in 24 hours, well, you are not going, you're going to have holes. You are going to have visible holes, not just maybe. You are going to have holes. I am also still working, as you can see, with gloves on. And that is because the lye has not set fully yet. It has gotten to trace, which means it's not as likely to burn you, but it still can burn you if your skin comes in direct contact with it. So this is definitely not the steps that you want the kiddos to be helping with. I do encourage children under intense supervision, and after the parent has trained them up in their production line section, I guess you could say, to help. But this is definitely not the moment to let their delicate little fingers be involved. We don't want anybody getting hurt. Okay, and see, I keep having small air pockets that are coming up to the surface when I doing that. So that tells me I'm not quite done spreading here. And when I'm spreading, I'm putting a little bit of pressure, not a whole lot of pressure, but just enough to help pop those air bubbles and encouraging them to not exist, like this guy over here. Hopefully you can see that. Let's see if you can see that here. So let me pick you up. So here, see this guy? That's an air bubble right there. So we're just gonna keep working this. It's very forgiving. That is the good news. So if you're a first-time soap maker, be encouraged. Animal fat soaps are easier to work with. See, I've got another one popping up there, there, and there. Oh, and right there as well. Okay. All right, and right there, look at that. Okay. We had quite a bit of air space in some of these. See, got a big old spot right there, so we're gonna add a little bit more in here. All right, got a bubble right there. All right, it's starting to harden. You will feel it change texture. Okay, so I have just put some cling wrap. You can put wax paper if you prefer. I had this left over and I'm trying to use it, not waste it until I need to recycle it. But this also helps to trap in the heat, because at this point we want this to stay as warm as it can for as long as possible. Hence the old towel that you will have seen here as well. So I'm just going to lay that like that. Get that dried sage out of the way. Okay, now what I'm also going to do is press a little bit over the top of the soap, because it's still soft and pliable. I don't want to take it out of the mold at this point. You don't want to try and remold it, definitely at this point. But this helps to push any existing air bubbles that I did not get out with all my whacking taken care of. It also helps to make sure that the soap sinks down into the mold impressions. Okay, and we're good. Okay, so at this point we are going to leave these soaps for 24 hours and we will see what happens tomorrow evening. Woo-hoo. Oh, all right, so here's the results. I forgot to turn it on when I was pulling them out. But as you can see, this is how they end up looking now. The back sides, that's just a little extra piece there. They're a little rough around the edges, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. You can just go in with a knife and basically clean up the edges, like so. Now, at this point, what I would do, you have to let it cure, okay? That is the thing about lye-based soaps. You have to let them cure. I prefer 3 to 5 week cure time. There are some who only cure it for a week to 2 weeks, but I find that the soaps really are at their peak at the 3 to 5 week mark, depending upon the type of soap that I've made. So, okay guys, so that is literally it. These are gonna go up on a drying rack to cure for about 3 to 5 weeks, as I said. So it'll be ready just in time for Christmas. Whoop, whoop. So big exciting thing there. But obviously making homemade soaps is not nearly as challenging as many of us have been led to believe. So if this is something that you are considering doing for yourself and your family, go right on ahead and give it a shot. If you fail the first time, don't sweat it. Everybody messes up on their first go around, so cut yourself some slack and be willing to try again. And eventually you will get some really, really beautiful results. I know I have, and I'm really looking forward to using this soap. I think my mother has already put dibs on a bar as well for herself. Now, if you are not somebody who is interested in making these soaps for yourself, then go on ahead and check out the available stock that will be over on my website, and that'll probably be ready after Christmas at this rate, because there's always a demo first. I always try it out on me, myself, and a few friends. So go on ahead and keep your eye out around the first of the year to see if this soap is available. So guys, as always, keep it simple, natural, and essential, and I will see you on the next video.